Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at the fairgrounds on Saturday is the Grade 3 Lecomte. Let's throw up the field of 3-year-olds. It's never too early to start thinking about the Kentucky Derby, and these 3-year-olds are hoping to find their way on the Derby trail. A good performance here leads to races in perhaps the Risen Star, the Louisiana Derby, and ultimately the Run for the Roses. There are some promising, well-bred horses in here. Papa Cap, runner-up of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, might wind up the favorite.
Yeah, he probably should. Ended his 2-year-old campaign with some, solid races, a couple of solid races in Grade 1 company. He's the horse to beat in here for sure. The rest of this field, just sort of, more lightly raced horses, really still trying to sort themselves out, Dan. But I do think there's some talent in here.
I would expect this pace to be solid. When we throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector, they have it red bar fast pace. Surfer Dude is quick, draws the inside post. This one was on the pace in the Gun Runner, ran okay in that spot. I would have to think that Gutierrez is going to take advantage of the inside post and go. The Cyberknife, the 6, I think this horse might be able to sit a little bit. Epicenter, the 5, has good speed. I'm thinking it's going to be 1-5 going into the first turn.
Yes, I sort of felt the same way. It feels like Surfer Dude probably doesn't have that many options breaking from the rail in here. He has enough speed anyway. To me, he's clearly a horse who has to improve if he's gonna beat this field. He's been no match for Epicenter the 2 times they faced each other. But he's going to go from the rail, and I do think that you're going to see Epicenter, get right up close to the pace in here. That seems to be his running style.
Speaking of Surfer Dude, he's just got a beautiful pedigree. He's by Curlin out of Ogden Phipps winner Tiz Miz Sue, a millionaire in her own right. He's a half-brother to a Grade 3 placed router in Dubai. His win came sprinting 2 starts back. In the Gun Runner, he took a little bit of pressure before he got tired. My issue is he's already gotten beaten by a couple of these horses already.
And then when you go back and watch that Gun Runner, he was, taking some pressure on the lead, but he was taking pressure from Epicenter, and Epicenter, easily put this horse away in the stretch and left him in the dust, through the final 1/8 of a mile in there. And that was sort of a similar outcome when they faced each other in the maiden ranks at Churchill in a 1-turn mile back in November. Dan, I mean, this horse, he's certainly run okay in some spots, but he's got a lot of improving to do.
Distance and class test for Surfer Dude's uncoupled stablemate, the number 2 Unified Report, a perfect 3 for 3 in his career. All of those races, however, sprinting. 1-7 for a long race around 2 turns at Delta Downs, and all of those races against fellow Louisiana breds. So far, this horse has done nothing wrong. Now we're going to see what he's made of.
Yeah, big class test for this horse. He's undefeated on the way. And I do respect the fact that he, took a step forward to win with an 80 buyer last time, Dan. But when I watch him run, I'm just, not that impressed with any of his races. And he's just going off at such short prices. It feels like, he's probably stepping into a spot here that just might be a little too tough for him.
It'll be interesting as well to see how far he wants to go. He's by Unified, a pretty good miler out of a multiple stakes winning sprinter. She won those stakes against fellow Louisiana breds. Papa Cap, second in the American Pharaoh, second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Let's watch the Juvenile. On November the 5th, Corniche was just too tough as the chalk on this day. Papa Cap down inside, looking for a place to run. Is going to eventually alter course outside of the pace-setting winner and is going to run on for second. This is a good performance for an honest horse that for some reason I don't think it's been getting a lot of press.
Yeah, it's hard to get, press when you don't win races, though, Dan. I mean, they stepped him up into 3 Grade 1s toward the end of last year. He didn't win any of them, and it's not like, he's exiting those races with big excuses. Good trips in both the American Pharaoh and the Breeders' Cup. I thought he ran really well both times. He just wasn't good enough, and, certainly no match for Corniche. He's probably the horse to beat here, though.
Good tactical speed. Should have Joe Bravo and Papa Cap maybe in the second flight, relaxing in the early portion. Distance shouldn't be an issue by the fantastic young sire, Gun Runner. Trafalgar is the number 4. This horse has won his last 2 starts for trainer Al Stahl. Won at the fairgrounds over this distance in December. Thought he had a pretty easy trip at odds on that day, and he had to work in the stretch.
Yeah, he did. I actually liked his maiden win last October. It was a 1-turn mile, and I realized that the pace, was certainly there for him to run at. But I would just point out that the horses that ran second and third were right up there on the lead the entire way. Trafalgar is the only one who got to them, and not only is the only one who got to them, Dan, he ran those horses right over in the stretch. I really liked that performance from him. I thought he ran pretty well last time too. They sort of employed a different running style with him first time around, 2 turns, just kept him right up on the pace the entire way. He didn't look like he was finishing strongly in there, but the runner-up took a real run at this horse in the late stages, and I like the way that Trafalgar sort of dug in and turned that horse away at the end. I think this horse has more improvement in him still.
Steve Asmussen trains both the 5 Epicenter, the 9 Presidential. Epicenter has already won a stakes race at the fairgrounds at this distance this meet. That was the Gun Runner in his final start at 2. He won that race rather easily over Surfer Dude. He's looked good in his 2 starts going long. There's a lot of potential with this horse, and with his tactical speed, I would not be surprised if he's in control turning into the stretch.
Yeah, it feels like he's going to be right up there with the pace again. I like both of his last 2 starts, Dan. He's obviously improving, doing it at the right time. He's already a stakes winner over course and distance. I just feel like there's a lot to like about this horse, but I do think this is a tougher race for him, as opposed to, putting away Surfer Dude a couple of times. There are better horses in here than Surfer Dude.
I think the ability is there for the 6 Cyberknife, another son of Gun Runner, the damn multiple stakes winner going long on various surfaces. I think he's run well in all 3 races. I just think he doesn't know what he's doing right now. He's very, very green. He was odds on in that maiden race going 2 turns in his final start as a 2-year-old, and he made the lead on the far turn like he was going to blow that field away, and I think he just completely lost focus once he got clear, and he made that race a lot closer, I think, than it should have been.
Yeah, that's probably true. I struggled with how to evaluate his maiden win and his most recent start. And I do, I could buy into your interpretation of it, Dan, where he's just a little too green and didn't, really put the hammer down on those horses when he was supposed to do that. Maybe that's why the blinkers are coming back on for his 3-year-old debut. Boy, it's a tough race for me to really get behind that win last time, because he took over at the top of the stretch. And the horse he took over from is the horse that wound up finishing second. He looked like he was going to beat that horse by 10 lengths. And he was actually all out at the end just to turn that horse away again.
Blue Kentucky is the number 7. The victories have come sprinting for the Wayne Catalano trainee. Third in the Sugar Bowl Stakes, sprinting last time out. This horse is going to get a little bit of a distance and class test. He's bred for the distance. I wonder if he's good enough against this field going 2 turns.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like he is. He did, earn consecutive Beyer tops in his last 2 starts, but that's, when they cut him back, when they tried to get the 1-turn mile out of him, that did not go well. He did not have any kind of a finish at all in that spot. I get that he's, sort of bred to handle the stretch out. I'm not surprised they're going to try it again. I have my concerns about how far he wants to go.
The 8 Call Me Midnight finished ahead of Surfer Dude in a maiden race 3 starts back, graduated at Churchill going the 1-turn mile, and then last time out really didn't have much chance in the Kentucky Jockey Club, a race with no pace, and he was hung wide throughout. This horse is bred to get the distance. I guess if there's a pace collapse in here, he can come running at a price.
Yeah, I'm going to use this horse. I think he is going to be a good price in here. I thought he ran well the first time they stretched him out. Wasn't as good as Giant Game, but he was, a pretty clear second best that day. I think Giant Game's a pretty nice horse. I liked his maiden win 2 back. Again, I know it was a 1-turn mile and he got a really good trip that day, but I just like the run that he put in through the stretch that day. I think that pointed him out as a horse who has some talent. I'm with you about his last race. He had no chance in there, just hung out wide every step of the way. And he actually tried to get himself involved. He just couldn't do it.
Presidential's appearance in this race, I think, is a really confident sign from a great trainer in Steve Asmussen. This is a $625,000 son of Pioneer of the Nile out of the multiple stakes winning dam. Second lifetime start, that's an Asmussen specialty, and Presidential dropped the hammer on a field at Indiana Grand, and then he disappeared. The fact that he's in this graded stakes race, first start off a 5-month layoff, I think it's a sign that Asmussen likes this horse.
Yeah, I think that's true. I certainly considered that about him as well. At the end of the day, I didn't like either of his starts as a 2-year-old enough to put him in there. But I do recognize that he's a horse who's probably pretty dangerous in here just because Asmussen entered him in this spot.
Papa Cap, the horse to beat in the Lecomte. I think we're going to try to beat him, however, looking for slightly better prices. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 3 Lecomte Stakes. You're going with Trafalgar, Mike, the 4. I love the fact that he's employed versatile running styles in his last 2 races. It gives the jock a lot of options.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just feel like he's run well in all 3 of his starts, Dan. So I feel like this horse has a chance to be pretty good. I'm, a little concerned about how far he's going to ultimately want to go. I just think he has some talent. So I took him. I was torn between him and Call Me Midnight. I think those are the 2 horses. I was either going to put one on top. I wound up putting Trafalgar, but I'm going to use Call Me Midnight as well.
Cyberknife to me is just a curious case. He needs to put it all together mentally. I think he has the ability. He certainly has the pedigree. He has a decent enough figure from his most recent start. He is trained by Brad Cox. I think he has some tactical speed, but I think he's green. He's going to have to figure it out. Hopefully the blinkers do it. He should be a decent price. 6,354 for me, 4,358 for Mike. It's the Grade 3 Lecomte. We're starting the road in the Louisiana road to the Kentucky Derby. Good luck.